Welcome into the PHNX Rising Podcast. Appreciate everyone joining us here on a Tuesday. It's good to be here. I am Max Simpson, joined by Mr. Owen Evans. How we doing, buddy?
Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday. Yeah. It's kind of.
You're back.
I'm back. It's kind of a sneaky Tuesday. We're here.
You have any updates for the people?
Right. Wow, we're just gonna leave.
We are.
Yeah, I mean...
We'll do it now because otherwise the chat will start.
Yeah, but see, the issue is then people are going to be jumping in who are watching live maybe a little bit late to the draw, which they're late because they're thinking we're late when really we're early today, which means we're on time. It's kind of complicated, but let's give it a couple minutes because then more people will watch and then we'll be able to cover everyone rather than people coming in waves asking about it.
Okay.
It will be addressed. That absolutely. But
is he ducking it again?
I'm not.
He's ducking again.
There's no again. There is no. I'm gonna very clearly say there is no again. Anyway, we have a
ducks.
What's up?
Ducks.
Quack.
Yeah.
We have a lot.
There we go. See, he's doing it. There. He made the noise as well.
Yeah, everyone.
I think we've established this now.
It's already been established.
It's been established.
Okay. All
See,
right.
there we go. The chat's going as well.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we got a lot to get into today. Make sure to hit that like button, please. Of course.
Remember, every like button, it gets bigger.
What gets bigger?
No comment.
Okay. Anyway, I don't think you know how these things work. Anyway, have a lot to get into today. Man, where should we start, right? I mean, I think the big kind of headline that we want to talk... Oh, gosh, dude. I don't think we know how to spell in the chat right now.
Leave a like.
Yeah, leave a like, everyone. I think the big news, right, that, kind of heard recently from the club is we now got a full coaching staff.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah. The coaching staff have been rounded out. Yeah. There is someone new. Max, tell us, who is it?
Oh, yeah. It's our guy, Diego Gómez, right? Filling it out. I know that's something that you were kind of talking about of like adding someone who is able to be that Spanish-speaking coach. I think the kind of swerve that we were seeing online is like, oh my gosh, he was recently hired and now he's
like
gone.
2 weeks. Yeah, guy was at Irvine for 2 weeks and then said, nah, I'm going to Phoenix. So shout out to him. Interesting one, but I understand it. NISA is NISA. And, I think if you're involved with NISA, I completely understand the fact that you'd want to get out of there as soon as you possibly can. But let's have a listen, though, actually. We did catch up earlier today with Phoenix Rising head coach Danny Stone. Got to ask him a little bit about Diego coming on in. Let's have a listen.
Yeah, Diego is a good addition to the staff. It's something that obviously we've been building towards for the last few weeks. So we're really pleased to have Diego here with us. I think from a person point of view, he will bring a great member of a team, which is the first and foremost thing that we look for in anybody that we bring into the organisation. Will that person add to the environment? Will that person be a good teammate for the staff and the players collectively? And we know that he will be that for us. And we look forward to having him with us for the season here this year, and he'll add a lot from a personality point of view to the group. From a skill set, he's an experienced coach, although younger in years. Maybe he's an experienced coach from being a coach for 10 years now or so now. So he has experience in different countries around the world. He'll bring us good perspective from those experiences. He's a very organised, very detailed in his planning from his coaching point of view, which is I think will be a plus for us. And then we're looking forward to having him as an additional voice for the players, an additional connector to the players, and he'll help us a lot tremendously this year.
But you managed to have him out here with the boys yet at all?
We have, yes. He's been out with us this week, so he's a couple of days into working with the team so far. It's been a good start for him. I think he's enjoying being on the grass, and obviously it's a new environment for him too. And so like anybody, we give them some adjustment time, and we help them through that process of a new club and a new city to live in, and we support him and his family along that journey.
Yeah. So from what I gather overall, he's definitely had a very hands-on role with some of the Spanish-speaking players over these first couple of days. Joining yesterday, so he's been here now. This is his second training session was today, but that was something that the JP Skierce rising midfielder told me, that look, he's someone who's been a lot more hands-on with some of the guys whose English maybe isn't quite as strong, and really been important in terms of go between those kind of guys. The staff as a whole now confirmed actually as well, so quite a few other guys. But if we look at Diego Gómez specifically here, and we can have a look at some of his stats actually, he was the head coach with Albion San Diego last season. They finished in 4th in the regular season NISA. 11 wins, 8 draws, and 5 losses, and a goal difference there of +10 in the playoffs. They were a semi-finalist. That was good enough. That Gómez was named the Coach of the Year in NISA last year in his only season with the club. Of course, Albion San Diego going on hiatus this season. Prior to that, just a little bit more background on him, of course, spent a couple of years with the USL team that they were trying to set up over there in Queens and didn't really work out. And yeah, but he was the coach there of their reserve team, in the academy leagues, in the in UPSL. So again, someone with a lot of experience, been around the world as well, hung up the playing boots at a pretty young age. So he's had a lot of time to work on getting his coaching badges, getting just experience as a coach. And so, yes, he's a young guy, but he is also someone who comes in with a decent amount of experience.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's something that, again, earmarked, that you want to bring on someone who can just relate, who can kind of help. I mean, not even like bridge the gap. That's not the right word, but like really just bring more cohesion to, the players, and also I think the community too. I think that's something where, again, like it's, you want to see your club being very representative of the culture of the fan base at hand. And I think this is really cool. It's a good hire, not just for on-field purposes, but also, just someone else who can extend to the community. So it's good. And plus a guy who, he brings credentials. This isn't just like checking a box or anything like that. This is a guy who, similar to how we saw Juan going up from USL to MLS, it's a guy who, he's taking the next step in his career, jumping up to a league, and we'll see how it goes. But I don't like the credentials, in coming from NISA, where, as Devnall puts it in the chat, NISA is just Nissan without the S and N. So
no free ads.
There we go. Yeah, right.
But also just.
I was waiting for him to catch it. I want to see how on the ball he was.
Oh, yeah.
I was on the ball.
I think you slipped out, man. That's tattoo number 2.
I don't think you guys know how this works.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's a fair point if you ask me. I think Andrew's right there with NISA. It's just American soccer's practical joke. It's pretty accurate, to be fair. I mean, it's like
the Simpsons
an
meme.
odd league. I don't even know where to begin with it half the time. Shout out to Arizona Monsoon, who are apparently going to start playing out on the west side this season. Omar Bravo as their head coach. But that brings back memories. Do you remember Omar Bravo playing for Phoenix Rising back in the day?
Yeah, buddy.
Do you remember, playing is a loose term. Do you remember what he was like on the pitch?
Oh, gosh. I mean, even from afar, bits and pieces.
Yeah. I think he did most of his movement from his car to the field.
I mean, not the most, not really a great heat map index.
No, not really. But he's head coach of them in NISA at the moment. It's interesting. Look, but looking bigger picture as well within Rising's coaching staff as well, I think there's something to add here that, bear in mind that, of course, one of the important bits, yes, you mentioned the Spanish speaking, and that's correct, right? He's somebody who's going to be important in that link, especially because at the moment, is Geronimo returning the fitness coach? Yes, he is. Is he physically here at this point? No, he is not. Whoa. So we continue to wait on that, continue to wait on the delay to getting him in here to Phoenix.
Yeah.
But in that interim, that's important.
Yeah, it's we'll see where it happens. I know people are itching to see him getting back. Don't want to see those things delayed any further than they need to be. And
delays. Delays.
Yeah, it's crazy, anyway, one thing that we're hearing Rising's not delaying is apparently any new additions on pitch, or should I say we're not going to be expecting any more.
Well, let's have a listen to what Danny had to say when I asked him about kind of where the roster is at the moment in terms of, is it pretty much settled, or could there be one or two more additions?
I expect that the roster is pretty set at this point. It would never be smart of me to say that nothing could change or nothing could be added, but I'm very happy with where the squad is as of right now. And I think from the working point of view, now through pre-season, we have an excellent group to work with here. So I don't foresee changes. At the moment, we're very comfortable with what we have, and we look forward to just pushing this group of players further through these next pre-season games.
Yeah. So
Okay.
by the sound of things, I think this team is pretty settled at the moment with where they are.
Yeah.
Maybe not a surprise that that's the case, but I mean, Max, we've been speaking about this off camera and about where we think this team is. Let's just have a chat about it, right? Because I think I am of an opinion, and I think you're of a very similar opinion on this one, that there's probably still space to add another player in the attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you know, kind of going back to front, you've seen who's been added, who's returned to the team. I like how they've bolstered the midfield. A lot of the defensive guys have come back. And I think it is that attacking spot of like, hey, who are we going to replace the goals with, right? It's not all going to come from just one or two guys. Again, the fact where you have two of the top 5 scorers in the league in Danny Trejo and Manuel Arteaga, you know, no longer with the team. Like, you're not going to replace that necessarily with 2 out-and-out players. But we would like to see a bit more, you know, if it is going to be a nuanced approach, a bit more variety. Are you going to bet on all those coming from the midfield? Are you going to bet on all those coming from wide? You would like to get some more guys coming through the middle, right? Kind of looking at even last year's stats in like per 90, how many goals are being scored across some of the guys who are no longer here, right? 0.55 goals per 90 minutes for Danny Trejo, 0.48 goals game for Manuel Arteaga. Both of those are essentially, you average that out, that's 1 goal every other game from your 2 forward. Yes, from each. From your
so
2
it adds
forward
up
guys.
to about a goal a game. They're going to
pretty good.
combine for a goal a game,
Exactly.
roughly.
You see those guys on the starting lineup, which you almost often did for pretty much the majority of the season, and that's going to lead to dividends, whether it's for one of them, both, whatever. And I think that's really important to know that, like, you're kind of seeing who has returned back. And you're seeing, like, okay, Darius Schmella, the very creative guy. You know, he has a lot of chances created. I think his stat, Lackey Reese, per 90 minutes was 2.21 chances created. Penalty area entrance, again, 6.57. You see these things. It's a guy who gets in dangerous positions, who is able to work these things in. Not to mention as well, you add in Panos Armanakis. Actually, those were Panos Armanakis stats. My bad. But yes, Panos Armanakis stats, very dangerous in kind of in the final third in those areas. Darius Schmella able to add on with 6 goals during his time down the stretch. But it's all those things, like, those guys are very not out and out type of like those forward players. And how are you going to bridge their skills versus someone else who's really able to put it back in the net? I don't mind the distribution asset of you're going to have multiple guys stepping up, but really the key thing is this. I don't need all of your players being like an Arteaga or a Danny Trejo where you're bagging in 15 near 20 goals, but who's going to get to double digits? That's my question.
This is the thing, right? If we say that Remy Cabral is going to be a replacement for one of those guys, I won't tell you you're wrong, because it could very well happen.
Of course.
The goal-scoring form that we saw from Cabral last season would suggest that it's indeed possible. Now, of course, new team, new league as well, so that definitely is a different challenge. We'll have to see how he adapts to it, but I think there's a good amount there that you can expect from Remy Cabral. Yep. When you look, though, at the others, I think you're right here, right? We need to really be quite honest about what we're looking at here. I'm expecting Darius Schmella to not necessarily play in that kind of 9 role that he found himself in come the end of the season. We'll have to see quite what happens with that. I'm not certain, but it's definitely something that I'm not sure that it's going to happen that way. Last season was the first time that he actually made it to double digits in goals in a season, right? We're ignoring the playoffs and all of that stuff. He hasn't made double digits before. So realistically, is he going to do it? Maybe, maybe not. We're not certain. Panos, is he going to score a large number of goals? Honestly, Panos, phenomenal player. I don't think anyone is surprised here when I say that I do hold him in very, very high regard as a player. I see him as a creator. I don't see him as someone who is going to... It's not that he's goal shy.
Oh, certainly not.
He'll chip in with a few over the course of the season. Yeah. But he's not... I'd be surprised if he hits up around 10. Personally, when you look at a guy like Panos Armanakis, you don't want him to be the one who is scoring all the goals. You want him to be the guy who is putting up close to 20 assists over the course of a season. And that's the kind of guy I think he can be.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. It's like if you're getting goals from him, if you're getting, a decent amount of goals from Darius, that's fantastic. I think it's one of those things, to your point. It's like you don't want to necessarily bank on it, because then you're thinking...
You also don't know how Remy's going to adjust.
That's the other part, is like, if we're going to have more varied distribution, guys are going to step up. But I think it's tempering expectations of you're maybe not going to get these 2 guys who are going to be challenging for the Golden Boot throughout the league. I think it's going to be a lot of people stepping up and a much more kind of varied distribution, but we'll have to see.
I'm a little bit nervy about that in some ways because we need to be perfectly honest about what we're looking at here. And you say, okay, who's the guys behind them and what are they going to score? Who are the people behind them in the attack realistically right now? Federico Varela, do you see him scoring any vast number of goals next season?
I do not.
If you're looking at Gallardo, do you see him scoring any large number of goals next season?
On Gallardo, right? Do you have oh gosh.
You've got some stats somewhere.
We do have some stats. I mean, if you're talking about chances created, which again, to answer your question, goals scored, no, but chances created 2.44 per 95th most in the league.
I don't care about chances created. Chances created are assist creation in a lot of ways. I understand.
What I'm saying is you have all these guys who are able to get players in the right positions, whether it's for themselves, whether it's setting someone up. So my thing is this. I think that with this season, you might get a bit more of a flow to the attack where you're maybe not seeing these moments where the guys are going to stall out, where you don't have to adjust halfway through of getting Panos up to gear, where you have Darius getting up to gear with his team. You get these guys from the start of the season. I think the flow and getting other guys involved is going to be crucial, and it's going to be, dare I say, there's a good chance it can get improved. What is going to be the key difference, and what this ultimately all comes down to, is who is going to get on the end of these chances, and hopefully there are more chances from all these guys being in the mix. Who's going to get on the end of it? Who's going to put the ball in the back of the net? That, to me, I don't know the answer. So here's my thing. I would say I think you have a very good chance of seeing more chances created, or at the very least, you're going to have more different guys chipping in, a bit more variety. But I don't know the answer of who is putting that in. And it really might be that case where, okay, someone's going to emerge.
Right, but again, I think what I'm seeing a lot of them, where my nerves are, right, is that, again, you've got someone up top who is as a prolific goal scorer, not as established in this league.
Sure.
As we saw last season.
Sure.
You've got people behind him who, yeah, they'll chip in with some goals, but you can't necessarily expect them to go off on a tear. I just feel like there's a lot of chance creators and not necessarily enough serious poachers in this team.
Yeah.
And the worry for me is that if the guy you're expecting to be bagging all the goals struggles, like if Remy Cabral struggles, I worry about this team from a goal scoring perspective, right? I am not expecting it necessarily easily going to have guys who are going to constantly bang, multiple guys who are going to constantly bang goals in. Last season, to be fair, it's probably not realistic.
No.
The way that those goals were put up between the two of them.
Even if they're both back.
But I still just wonder if there's still benefit in hedging your bets with another player.
I don't disagree.
Because again, there's an element, right, of strikers before. We have seen, right, and we've seen with this team in the past, what happens when you have a striker who goes out of form and you don't really have an amazing plan on how you're going to replace him? We saw what happened today with Egbo. They crushed that guy.
100%. So here's kind of where I think we're in. And
I think Cabral's better than Egbo, to be clear.
Right. So we're
not even close in my mind.
We're in the agreement that we would like to see Rising add another player within that position to be able to contribute. We don't disagree with that. What I think we're kind of at is, where do you start going down the line of like, okay, you're hearing Danny Stone saying that, they're not expecting to add anyone else. When does that kind of sit in as like, hey, let's take this for what it is. Let's say there is no more players added. The question then becomes, okay, what do we do okay, now you got to figure it out. And what I'm saying is, while you can use another guy to help bang in the goals, to help get in on the ends of these chances, what I'm hoping is, last year we saw a lot of these, hey, go make an individual effort, or hey, if the attacking flow stalled out, you're relying on these two goal scorers who were scoring at will in a lot of parts to come up with something, and it wasn't always the answer. What I'm hoping for is, even if you don't have that necessarily guy who's going to beat you one-on-one, who's that natural, clinical, do-everything guy, by hopefully creating more chances and having more dynamism in the final third from other guys, you just kind of hope that someone, or maybe a few people, naturally step up. It's not a perfect solution, and I would ideally like another guy. But what I'm saying is, I'm maybe not as panicked, because I think you have more playmakers this year, earlier on in the year, and there might be a bit more flow. So hopefully, and it's a big if and it's a big hopefully, someone's able to start getting on the end of those.
We'll see. I mean, again, and the other thing I'll say here is that I know it was somewhat non-committal in we could add someone, but we think it's mostly set right now. Yeah. Never underestimate the fact that players can become available.
Yeah.
Especially as preseason progresses. MLS teams find guys that they don't necessarily have a place for come the start of the season. Guys who were on trial in different places doesn't pan out there.
We're
but
seeing
suddenly
Quajo
are
at the number
available.
9, Stenberg from Tomas Stenberg
We're
at the
not
number 9
playing
from
chuck
Mikey.
whoever you feel like at number 9, guys.
Oh,
this isn't Football Manager. You're not at the end of the game and just think, oh, lump a centre back up top. We're not doing it. We're not doing that. We're not having that conversation.
Oh goodness, man. Yeah, it's we'll see, But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting how guys come to the surface
We'll see.
and what the opportunities are. An opportunity for you guys to join our friends at Circle K in their Inner Circle program, guys.
You know why you got to do it right now?
What's that?
Because there is a long road trip coming up if you want to go drive over the 4 hours there and 4 hours back over to Coachella to see Phoenix Rising play this weekend.
Yeah.
Which means it's a great time to get that saving on the gas.
They got Coachella. They got Coachellas. They got Circle K's on the way. They got Coachellas on the way to Circle K.
I've thrown him off. It's
does.
great. I've defeated Adman.
Ad read broken. Yeah, they have Circle K's on the way to Coachella. You can download the Inner Circle program for free. Literally get those free Polar Pops, those free snacks. 25 cents off a fill up. Literally was seeing people today at the Coyote Show. They want, they're getting the chips, right? People having meat sticks. It's all these different types of things you can get for free with our friends at Circle K. Download the Inner Circle program today. Also, you can get 4 Peaks at Circle K. You see this, your eyes do not deceive you. It's a big old wow wheat, a tall boy, that you can get at 4 Peaks, right? They have their 8th Street Pub. They have a new look, new feel about them. They have their lovely, delicious, crisp, their Bad Birdie beer. Guys, their Bad Birdie, juicy golden ale. I've had it before.
You are struggling on these ads.
Are you okay?
We're getting back into
man?
it. Take a week off, man. It's catching up to you. But hey, that Bad Birdie juicy golden ale. I've had it before at their 8th Street Pub. It is phenomenal. It's really crisp.
We were speaking
really
about
delicious.
this last. We were speaking about this last week.
Say something.
Yeah. Where is this Bad Birdie?
Why do we not have any of this in the office?
Yeah, where is it, Max?
Oh, I see. This is what we're getting.
Where
at.
is
The thing
it?
is, I live here. I don't have time to stop and get it anywhere. I need the Bad Birdie in the office fridge.
Your mailing address is this office.
I actually sleep under your desk.
We share an office.
Exactly.
And you have your
I don't
own
want
desk
to dirty
right next
my
to
own
me.
desk.
What? Wait, you dirty my desk? What are you doing? Oh my god!
You don't want to ask questions,
Birdie,
Max.
That's why.
Oh goodness! Yes,
Because
we get
you
back
didn't
on
bring
track.
any in, Max.
Well, apparently that is my next task.
there
yes.
we go. At least we've got it on the agenda. We've won here.
What happens first? A tattoo or I have a Bad Birdie in my hand?
Bad Birdie, Juicy Golden Ale.
Difficult.
Grab it at 4 Peaks. Visit them at their 8th Street Pub and check them out on Instagram at 4 Peaks Brew and at 4 Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest and greatest going on at Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 years or older to drink 4 Peaks and enjoy responsibly. Let me just dive into this before we kind of get going again. Okay, fine. We'll talk about the tattoo. Listen, guys, I'll say this. First
Here
off,
we go. Everyone calm. Everyone calm. He's going to address it. Are you ready for this? Everybody. Our producer is ready. Is Trig over there ready? No. He's not ready. Okay, Max, are you ready? Let's go.
I was ready. Until
Everyone
you
at home, are you
stopped
ready?
me.
He's about to come out with it. Here we go.
There.
Max, over to you, my friend.
Okay, well, first off, you're an absolute scumbag because you completely did not share the entire full perspective. You left me out to dry. You left me out to dry on the last podcast. Tell me I'm wrong.
You know what?
Tell
I'm
me
sure
I'm
you
wrong.
want to be dry. It's very rainy out there at the moment, Max. Don't you want to be dry? Do you want to go do it outside in the rain?
We're literally getting
No,
away
he
from that.
doesn't,
Start
does
changing
he?
the
But see,
subject.
here he goes. But Max, go on, tell us, why haven't you got a tattoo?
Okay, well, thank you for completely throwing me under the bus when that's just
I don't
unfair.
see a bus here.
Oh my gosh, this guy sucks. Listen, guys, all I'll say is this. A couple days before, 2 days before the tattoo was supposed to happen, right? There are many people involved with everything going on. Myself, production, the tattoo artist. Again, it's not throwing myself, anyone under the bus, but someone had a family situation, came up at pretty last minute notice, and we had to reschedule. We are looking at a date. And that's that. I'm not ducking. I promise it. It will happen. I'm honestly kind of bummed. I literally was
He was ready for this.
I literally was set to come back from my trip. I even took a slightly earlier flight to, make sure I didn't get delayed, beat the rain coming back from San Francisco, and literally it wasn't gonna happen, and that's okay. We make it work. I know people are saying in the chat that there is a countdown and how many number of days until the season starts. We're going to do everything we can to get it in soon with time to spare.
I'm hearing as well. I think this is fair to suggest here, and I'm sure the chat will agree with me that very much so. If we get to that last week before the season starts and there's no date on the books at that point, I feel like it's a good time to pick up the phone, give our boy Panos Amanakis a call, and ask if he wants to do the tattoo, because I hear he did get some practice in over the off season.
I don't consent to that. Well, we're not going to get to that point.
We're not going to get Panos to do it.
Well, no, I'm going to say let's make sure we don't get to that point of, let's get this done at Problem Manor again. I'm working with everyone again to try to reschedule things. Our production crew, tattoo artists, we're making sure this doesn't fall through. Thank you, Samantha. He is so excited about this tattoo. But me, on the other hand, LMAO. Thank you, babe. You keep that up. I will make sure. You know what, Samantha? I'm going to make sure I'm trying not to show the dentist photos that you just showed me where you look very
excuse
flattering.
me, can we leave this out of this podcast,
Oh, no,
please?
nothing. It's content.
Excuse me, we're here for some wholesome content, like you getting a tattoo. And
that's
I think going after Samantha is completely uncalled for. Wouldn't you agree here, producer Eric?
I think he's trying to get the heat off.
I think he's trying to deflect. I'm trying
to deflect.
He saw the light and he took the first opportunity.
I know. Yeah, see,
took the first opportunity.
I know she's completing the heart on the other.
But the thing is I thought we'd established here that we weren't certain for sure that Max did indeed have a girlfriend, that she wasn't a paid actor. So it's very possible here that this is just Max on his laptop, which he has in front of him, typing comments at himself. Have you heard this as well?
I mean, I've not heard this theory.
It's a very
both met
reasonable
her on multiple
sounding
occasions.
exchange.
You have met her on multiple occasions.
Oh, that's crazy. Almost like you can hire somebody.
You could hire someone, to be fair.
And maybe they have a nice rate if you rebook.
And Nina's Blueberry, that comment is too far. I draw the line there. I draw the line on that comment.
I'd like to shout out our stat lackey. Good old Trig in the chat. And here's what he said. Earth has traveled approximately 137,584,755 miles since the final. This means that Max has ran over 5,251,326 marathons to duck this tattoo.
Congrats, you're getting numbers. Is just a Max burner account. Guys, honestly, at this point, I swear I'd rather just have the tattoo, because this discourse will not stop, and this is honestly worse.
Max, dare I bring this up? Dare I bring this up, mate?
What's up?
But we need to put this in perspective here, right? Sure. We had Max's buying beers. It very quickly became Max is getting a tattoo. Do you not worry what comes next once you've disposed of Max is getting a tattoo?
Max is gonna,
it's progressively getting worse.
Max is going to stop making bets.
Max is going to stop making bets.
Max is going to stop making bets. Max is going to stop making bets. No, Albert.
You are taking a pasting from this chat, man.
It's okay. Listen, you guys.
To be fair, as much as we bully him, he's actually not wrong, and it wasn't his fault. But still,
thank you for letting that slip a week before finally saying that. I really appreciate that. But no, it's again, guys. Like I will get the tattoo. Again, this discourse, and this is honestly more annoying than having the tattoo. I'm actually, in a weird way, kind of looking forward to it. But I wish it would happen. But we will get it on the books. And
rumor has it as well. Have you got any broadcast elements you want? I know that someone suggested that we include the Max owie counter. So every time you like flinch or say ow, that guy's choking on his water now. We've completely lost him. Shout out to Emma Clark for that one. That was a phenomenal idea. But Max just absolutely lost it.
Oh gosh, yeah, that water went up my nose. That's a tough one. Oh man, I'm crying a little bit.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
If that's putting you down, brother, I got bad news for you when you get the tattoo.
Oh no. Yeah. Again, working towards it. Hit up, guys. I'm doing what I can. Should we have them publicly tweet at people? That kind of worked in our favor last time, even if we got some backlash. But how about this?
About what?
DM Jacob Franklin.
No, stop putting people on others. We
This
can
is a
help with
terrible
this.
idea.
We can help with this. We don't have to put it all on poor old Jacob.
Okay, you're right. Don't
But, like,
do
just-
not DM
If you've
Jacob
got any
Franklin.
ideas, tweet it at the
Tweet at
PHNX.
Jacob Franklin.
No, tweet
kid,
it
do
at
not, don't do that.
PHNX__rising. Make it our problem, not his.
I do like
I have
the
a good
engagement.
idea. Why don't they join the Die Hard Discord?
You can
and
do
then
that
they can
too.
ask everybody
If you're a
in there.
diehard, we'll pay more attention to you. If you're not a diehard, we may do it, but we may not. But we'll give serious consideration
I mean,
to
it's
diehards.
fair. Like, honestly, again, well, also the big part about all of this is diehards are the only ones who are going to be able to see this tattoo viewing. And if you thought you missed the boat last time by not signing up, well, now you got some more time, but not too much longer. We are looking to get a date on the books very soon. But again, you guys are going to believe me or you're not, and that's fine. But that's how it is. Something fell through. It's unfortunate. We're going to get it going. Anyway, speaking of getting it going, let's move on, shall we? Talk that's got me all kind of confuzzled. But
let's talk about something that's going on with Rising. We kind of tweeted about it earlier.
hit it.
Let's talk about it. Darnell King, of course, being promoted to the staff means a new captain on the way at some point.
We've had some discourse about this internally, but who better to hear it from than straight from the horse's mouth? The horse being Danny Stone.
We are in the process of clarifying thoughts as a coaching staff. Obviously, we've been thinking through this, but again, this is not a decision that we need to rush into too soon. We're very fortunate to have several leaders in this locker room still, and I think right now we're in a good place to manage pre-season, regardless of which players are playing on the field at any point. We have good leadership in the team right now, so we'll see moving forwards where we get to with that. It's a process that we are working through, and when we feel the time is right and we're in the right place to move forwards to that, we'll do that.
There we go.
It makes it. It's not. It's these are these types of things where I feel picking a captain and having someone lead your squad. It's such a, I don't know. It's not something that's like a quantitative thing where it's like, oh, look at the stats and it's just going to the best performing for player. It's not even necessarily who's talking the loudest or who is always finishing drills first or things like that. Picking a captain, I feel it's something that's so like, it's hard to quantify. It's even sometimes hard to like put it out there, but yet it slowly comes over time. And I think especially right where you have a new guy in charge, where you finally have a season where there's a lot of returning guys, some new guys in the mix as well. But I think this is something where it'll be interesting to see, but we do have a couple guys who we have in mind.
I'm going to leave with what Devin's saying, and I think to me, and I think to you as well here, Max, we both were talking about this earlier, and I think we both pretty much agreed that the correct answer in our minds really is that it should probably go to John Stenberg. Now, there's a lot of things in there to note. John Stenberg, of course, is recovering from a nice little bout from what I'm told is valley fever over the course of the off season. So we'll see how that goes. You should be back in a few weeks' time. But not ideal. But he's someone who just the talent that you've seen from him since he joined this team, huge, immense. You look at just the leadership I think he can provide as well in this squad, and you see from him in general, huge. I think he's an experienced player who, again, talents. Really a good, strong personality in that group. I think I see some Quajo suggested. I think Quajo unlikely for the reason that I'll say is I don't see him as a starter. Even in, I think he's someone who could provide a lot off the bench,
Right.
but I don't see him as a starter, and for that reason, I think you probably got to look to Stenberg.
So the question, right, kind of what we ran into last year of like, when Darnell King was not playing, Kevin Lambert was the out-and-out captain, right? Even to start the season while Darnell King was in and all that stuff, right? A lot of the times saw Kev with the captain's armband. What we're saying here, and I will caveat with what I just said, that Darnell King's in a unique position where he's kind of like, right, was one of the older players, was a guy who like was a natural choice for the captaincy, given that he already had it and everything like that. But he was maybe like, okay, not going to either play a full 90 all the time, sometimes not starting, whatever. I don't really think any guys off the top of my head really fit into that position that would be kind of willing of the captain's armband and would also be guys who you wouldn't figure to start a full 90 all stuff. So that kind of eliminates that. So kind of the roundabout way of what we're saying is it's going to be a guy who is a bona fide starter, a guy you can count on where, maybe not necessarily going to be one game on, one game off, whatever, whether doesn't matter position, could be defender, could be anyone on the pitch, a guy who they're going to start the majority of the games. They're probably going to play a majority of the time. That's fair to say, especially given, right? This is kind of a different time with the coaching staff and everything.
I mean, I know, oh God, was it you I was having the conversation with earlier? We're talking about Jose Andres Hernandez?
I was,
Since that's come up now in the chat here from Albert.
Yes.
I broadly, I see what point you're going with here, right? And a large part of it is that it's, you've got to think here about the fact that ultimately, he's got the really good argument for him in that he is a local boy. We know what this means to him. I think in 100%. The second half of the season, he was very, very good with this team.
Yep.
But I also think there's far too much competition in that midfield.
Yeah, and Albert, funny enough, like honestly, we were having this conversation, and that's what I said on the pod. I think 2-3 weeks ago of like, I thought Jose Andres Hernandez was a sneaky pick for it based on he has the local connection, that he has a bond right with a lot of guys on the team. He has a community connection. He is a guy who, at the time, I thought that, he was at least a very good front runner for a starting position. And I'm not saying that's necessarily changed, but I think to what we're saying, there's so much competition in the midfield that it's going to be a tricky one. So I've kind of rescinded it wouldn't totally shock me, but I've kind of rescinded my thought of I don't think he's my front runner anymore. I do kind of go along with, and I did come to the agreement, right, of like, I do think Stenberg is a very natural, obvious choice. You see the difference that the guy has made purely in half a season, not just in, the goal that he scored in the final or just how he's playing through, adversity and literally like illness and whatnot. But I think it's just the fact that like, he was such a rock, a presence. Even when they would let goals in or things like that, he just had a good command of the defense. He had a good command of the team. And I think in a back line where maybe it wasn't the most vocal all the time, he was the guy without a doubt. If like the key test of a defender, right, is like if someone's yelling step or drop, like how quick is it? Who is that one guy saying it? It was without a doubt. That's the guy. And I think that carries over pretty well.
Yeah, I know. I broadly agree on that. I mean, I know people are bringing up Panos. By people, I mean, at the moment, it's Fat Kid in the chat. Look, I think he's someone who is a strong personality on this team. I think he's someone who brings a lot to this team. And I, at the same time, think that he's someone who's still got room to grow. I think he'll grow into someone who'll be a captain. I'm not certain that he's necessarily ready for it right now. Bear in mind that Phoenix Rising is the first club really that he's spent any considerable time playing regular football.
Sure.
It's difficult, right? And I wonder if maybe he still needs a season or two to continue to grow, right? He's still young enough. We don't have to push it out there as though, I mean, the guy's 25. Okay, let's be real about this. I think he's someone who has the potential. I think he's someone who definitely could fill in on a time to time. But I feel as though there may be stronger candidates within the squad at this particular moment in time. Again, he'll get there. He'll get there. No, and he's got a lot of the important parts to it still.
100%.
I mean, I see Paul's comment here about a club captain that doesn't play every game. That's right. It happens. It happens. Seen it, done there.
I just don't know if we're in that situation, kind of like we were last year.
But I think the argument to be made. Last year was weird because it was moving on from a season where Darnell was already captain.
100%.
To me, I think the argument with it, and I understand you saying you doesn't have to play every game. You could just have Stenberg wear it when they're not on the field, and that's fine. But to me, I think when you're in a position whereby realistically you've got a very good case for making Stenberg it in the first place, that should be a consideration.
Yes, agreed. It'll be interesting, right? I mean, there's all different types of molds from the captain, right? I mean, it doesn't always have to be that rah-rah guy. It could be someone that is, stirs the pot. It could be someone who's just very, vocal, leads. Honestly, I think the thing too is like, we can only judge so much of this process that's going on, picking captain. It's not just what you see on pitch. It's not what you see in clips. Like really how a guy's getting picked is like, it's stuff that we will never see. That's in those one-on-one conversations that like, it will never be in a social media clip or things like that. It's those mini interactions that is what's going to compile. It's like, we can do the best job we can, but this isn't like saying that guy should start or that guy should play more because it's such an intangible thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of different parts.
The last two things I'll address. I saw Reese earlier up in the chat. with the shout
What was
that,
Trick saying?
Renzo Trick said that Renzo wore the armband when he played versus Portland. Okay, interesting one to watch. And then I think I saw Mikey down in the chat. I think it was Mikey was shout for Azakar. So
nah,
I know
I don't think you should give it to someone who's not played a
game
game for this club yet.
I agree, but
I understand, but no.
yeah.
You've got people who are playing for this club who know what this club means, who've been around it. Again, it's nothing against Azakar whatsoever, but I think there needs to be some continuity. There needs to be
even a little bit, even if it's a guy who half season for Stenberg does a lot in that season. But we'll see, man. Hey, that's a positive thing about Max. Gonna cleanse himself. Appreciate that, buddy. Well, Razvan will look to cleanse themselves by redeeming with an upcoming win on Saturday.
What is that transition?
I don't know.
Max!
That was something.
What is that transition?
Looking to bathe in the victory.
If that was a transition in a
winning.
football match, you'd have conceded a goal by now, mate. That was awful.
Sorry, I'm not. Recently, we just played FIFA 2 out of 3 times. Yeah,
Max is trying to do the usual where he argues that a win on penalties is a win, and I'm afraid
that's literally what he did the last time.
I'm afraid that penalty shootouts take place after the game has concluded.
What? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat Young Boys.
You
I don't know what
can't
you want.
argue with the.
That's the team. That's the team. That's the team. Like he's
Max, we don't want to get banned from YouTube, please.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I would suggest just retrying that transition.
It's a team. Anyway.
And pretending like the last 2 minutes just didn't happen.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm late. Emma in the chat. I'm late, but now watching match laugh that hard, and I really need an ouchie counter. Okay, Emma, I didn't know this was your idea until now.
It was Emma's idea. I said it at the time.
Yes, I know, but until
I said it was Emma's idea.
Until this pod. That's unfortunate.
You hadn't even heard of this existing until this pod. That was a genuine live reaction.
I don't like that. Anyway, as I was so expertly transitioning to, Phoenix Rising's looking to get a dub this weekend.
Yeah, well, friendly. Doesn't really matter.
Everything matters. We start the undefeated season.
No, it's a bit late. They've already lost the friendly.
Oh,
so,
that friendly doesn't count, but this friendly counts. This friendly ain't friendly. All right, what are we thinking?
I think it's going to be a 90 minutes of football.
Would you care to elaborate?
It's a friendly, Max.
Do we maybe have some
I tell you what, we do have some thoughts, but it's on a larger spell. So I'll give you some context here quickly. Rising will be heading to Coachella on Friday. They will be returning on Wednesday, so having some good training over there. They got the game against Minnesota. They may have another game while they're over there behind closed doors. Not entirely certain on that one. But let's have a quick listen to what Danny had to say about what they're looking to get from Coachella.
Part of pre-season is building real connection with a group and trust and belief in each other as people as well as players. So it gives us time together in one place. And obviously when we travel and we stay in hotels, there is more time off the field than there generally will be on the field. So the training will be important. The games will move us forwards from a playing point of view, but the time off the field and the time with each other around the hotel is going to be really, really key for us. And that will give us the opportunity to actually spend more time with each other and get to know each other better as people, which is such an important factor as we go through a season, whether things are going well or whether you're facing adverse moments. The ability to know the people that you are fighting with and the people that you're competing with is a real important factor. So this will give us a great opportunity, I think, as human beings to get to know each other better and build those relationships further.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things, again, like we're joking about, the result doesn't matter. Like, fair, it doesn't matter in the friendly, but it is something where, we saw this team really come together, right? Like you last preseason, you traveled with them to Mexico and everything like that.
That was important, I think,
it's
for this
massive.
team. Yeah.
These trips matter, even if we're not seeing it on the results and all that stuff. Like, it's cool for the team to go, right? Fans who are traveling to Coachella, like these are important things, and it makes for. It's going to be a long season, guys. It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. No, I know. And again, these trips, the ability to control things, the ability to force the players to mingle a lot more than they may usually do. Really important.
Absolutely. It's also very important to go on these trips if you are 21 years or older to pack a bag of OGs if it tickles your fancy to do so. OGs brands, man. Listen, the beautiful part, guys, it's edible gummies. They're portable. They're in a bag, which is nice. They travel incredibly well. I'm not here advocating for certain things, but if you were to take some and enjoy them in your car and that's all, As long as you're not driving, as long as you're
I'm about
21
to say,
plus.
not driving.
Not
We're not actively. No,
I
man.
very much stress the not driving part. That's that should be a given, but it's unfortunately not. Do not drive and take OGs. But what you should do doing is, take a little, if you're a passenger in a car, take some OGs, enjoy them responsibly, gentlemen. Enjoy them responsibly, right? They have their two new products. If you haven't already gotten
All this
them.
has got me now wondering is like, does Max just sometimes get high, sit in his car, and laugh at the rain falling down on the windows?
I wouldn't say.
Like, do you do that, Max? Because that's what you kind of like
It tickles
hinting at
Emma's
here.
fancy. No,
I was
it's
about to say, that actually doesn't sound too bad.
Also,
bad.
I wouldn't laugh at the rain. I would like just zone out and be chill and just
Chill,
like have a good
enjoying
time.
watching
That's not a
the
bad time.
It's a show, like, especially when the lightning kicks in. I mean, it's a free light show outside.
The thunder kind of rumbling. Oh my. But yeah, you can get on that kind of vibe. Check out their two new products, right? The Rick Simpson Oil RSOs. Great last name, by the way. It is a vegan gummy, the OG's Naturals, and they also have the Big OGs. That was my nickname in college. It's awesome.
No, it was not.
No, it wasn't. It's a big 100 milligram edible that can be perforated into 10 milligram edible gummies. Again, great for traveling if you are doing it responsibly, right? Again, it's delicious, sweet clementine flavor. Get it today. Go to ogsbrands.com to find them at a local dispensary near you, and check them out at OG's Brands across all social platforms.
I actually had someone that will remain unnamed and not a member of the playing staff made a comment to me today that actually they tried out OGs, someone from the team. And
it spreads. It works.
And they didn't have bad things to say, I'll put it that way.
It works. And speaking of what else that works?
Thanks, Trig.
Arizona Lottery. It's a good time, guys. They have a new ticketing promotion. Okay, here's the deal. It's very fun. First off, it is like the time to get outside, get outdoors. Despite this rain, which some people like hiking in the rain and all that stuff, it's actually quite beautiful. The weather is beautiful. It's going to be probably the best it's going to be all year. Go outside and win some money. How do you do that, you might ask? Super simple. There are 3 ways to win massive, big through Arizona Lottery's Arizona Adventure program. One way, play the Arizona Adventure lottery tickets. Feature 3 iconic landscapes. You got Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, and Camelback Mountain.
Which is your favorite?
Ooh, out of those 3, I like Camelback, but just for the views, it's kind of overrated. I really like Picacho Peak, actually. It's a wonderful hike, very underrated, and you kind of sit at the top where there's like nothing your height for like probably 50 miles. It is a beautiful view.
There we go. Adman has spoken.
And even better, they have prizes up to $50,000. Do you know how much you can buy with $50,000?
How many away trips you could do for that money?
Absolutely. So that's one way. Buy one of those 3 scratcher cards. Number 2, you can also check out at a geolocation adventures at 10 destinations across the strait. All you have to do, you can literally go hiking at one of these places, check in online at azadventure.com, and you can literally check in for a chance to win money. It is that simple. You can literally go hike, check in, boom, chance to win money. Some of the places, right? Like I mentioned, there's Hole in the Rock at Papago Park. There's places in Tucson, in Mesa, all throughout Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, Flagstaff, Sedona, all these places. You can find the entire list at azadventure.com. It's super easy. Get outside, hike. It's awesome. And then number 3, you can enter tickets online for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel
on earth
prices.
Was that, Max?
You clearly are an uncultured swine. But you can check all that out at azadventure.com. They have awesome prizes, awesome cash prizes. It's fantastic. Again, guys, it's the time with Arizona Lottery. Win all this stuff. Go to azadventure.com, play, and make sure you have a good time.
I have a question.
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
You said you joked that your nickname was Big OGs in college. Obviously, that's not true. Did you have a nickname?
Ooh. Did you, Max?
Did I have a nickname?
Did you?
Honestly, no. It was just like straight. I mean, people are like, what's Max show from? I'm like, no, it's just Max. But I was about it. Actually, what people would do, honestly, they'd go to my current tattoo and at like parties, and they just like twist the dial and they're like to the max, and people still do. Shane does that now. It's a thing. If you've seen for those who have seen my tattoo, which I've done, I've seen multiple times on this show.
Didn't you get your top off once on this very show?
I wouldn't say take my top off, but
you did.
Well, I mean, I'm barrel chested. I flexed. I did a Terry Crews of the make him dance. But anyway, it's a fun time.
I'm sorry I asked that question.
You kind of knew what you're getting.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay.
It was worth it. It was worth asking it.
That's okay. I mean, that's kind of weird to talk about. You kind of said anything we want to hit. Anything want to hit in this last part here?
I don't know, Max. What do you want to do? I think we're just doing the usual kind of like, what are we gonna do? We'll find things to talk about.
What's
going on in football right now, Max?
I know. I was gonna say, hey man, Spurs are gonna make the Champions League. Call it here. Qualify this. You can clip this.
I tell you what. You know
Mikey,
what?
no, we are not starting that. No, no,
Feet.
no.
Max. Why are we bringing back Max showing feet again?
Actually, this is a very simple solution. I will happily show my feet when Owen shows his.
You know we're going to clip that now without the last part, don't we?
I didn't see that coming.
You've got to think about this now, right? But you know what I'm going to say? You know what I'm going to say?
They're talking about kicking the football. That's what they mean by
you know what I'm going to say here? I'll say this here in terms of making... You reckon them Spurs making the Champions League?
Yes.
I think there's a better chance of the Bullet Stephen Bunting winning a second major darts title this year than there is of Spurs making the Champions League.
We were all thinking that.
Darts in here. I know. The Bullet, Stephen Bunting, the people's champion who just won the Darts Masters.
Better chance than Man U making it. Better chance than Chelsea making it. Heck, even Arsenal might drop out. They're kind of shambolic.
You know, Max, just like you've got there in your over there in your hand over there. You know, Spurs do have a good chance of bottling it.
This isn't a bottle. This is
it's close enough. That's close enough. I'll take a question from Fat Kid here. What's up with February 24th? Why did Rising double book a game? They're not double booked in the sense of those games aren't on at the same time. There's one game at 1, there's one game at 7, based on what I'm understanding. Double headers aren't that unusual in preseason. We do see them from time to time, especially later in the preseason. One of the key things you'll see is that, as we had earlier, they're up to about 45 minutes a game right now. Rising starters. Well, as you get later in preseason, they're going to want more minutes. So you're going to have guys who are going to be playing 60, 75 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, some of them even. And so sometimes you look at getting a second game in because it allows you to rotate around. You've got all the kids, of course, that we saw from that first friendly. There's still the chance that you play them, and you probably will play them for parts of the games. But it does allow you to get multiple people over the certain amount of minutes that would at least make it so that you don't have a handful of guys who are playing the full 75 and everyone else is just kind of stuck on 15 because what else are you going to do?
It's true. You got to get those minutes somewhere. Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? How do we not bring this up? FIFA. Gonna World Cup. FIFA gonna
the World Cup stuff.
How do we not talk about this yet? Yeah, that's a good one.
Kind of. I mean, it's one of those things they tried to make like a. They tried to. What about it? FIFA gonna have FIFA.
I mean, it's not surprising, but it's always
what part though?
What part?
What part are we talking about? Because like, there's the schedule reveal. There's everything else.
The schedule reveal. It's not even. It's more so. Okay, the two things I saw. Number one, the final being at MetLife Stadium, and the meme I saw was like, oh, fantastic! All the best players in the world coming to, unfortunately, tear their ACL because MetLife. It is.
They won't be playing on turf.
Yeah,
FIFA will not have that happen. Right?
I know.
This is the thing that's funny. You think the NFL is like this big, massive entity, and they're being shamed by FIFA into putting grass on the fields. Okay, like,
big brother.
Come on, FIFA, yeah.
Second, which again, as we were talking, you know, we were I think through a text or something. It's like again, like brands.
Speaking of that, the comment in here, no free ads. That's kind of the point here that we're going for, yeah.
Oh, I did say Matt. That's right. New York dash New Jersey Stadium. Yeah, it'll be interesting what playing service they have. And that's the other thing is, you know, they're going to be. It's something that we were texting about. It's typical protocol with FIFA, but they're not going to be even referencing the stadium by their sponsor name. So it's going to be
they never
LA
do it.
Stadium, Seattle.
UEFA don't do it, right? Trick can tell us. When Arsenal play in the Champions League, they don't play at the Emirates Stadium. They play at Arsenal Stadium. Because they don't allow the sponsorship.
No free ads. That's literally the whole thing. But no, it's again, it's not new. It's just it always is a reminder of like, yes, that's how it works.
Yeah, it is. It is, right? And it's that's just how it works. It always has done.
What do you think of how the games were allocated throughout, U.S., Canada, Mexico?
I mean, I think in an ideal world, it would have been nice to see a late stage game in Azteca. I think that they deserved it. To be frank, I think they deserve probably the third place game. I think if you're not giving them the final, I understand that. But
I really don't care. I think like they gave it to Miami. I mean, fine. It's kind of like gives me Pro Bowl vibes. It's called what it is. I know there is something up for grabs of like you.
But it does matter for certain. Like, bear in mind, right? You'll say that, Mr. Round of 16, right? But look at what it meant to the teams that did actually get to it. It was Croatia, Morocco. That was important to them.
Right.
They're not countries that you're necessarily expecting to be competing for the main crown. They get late in it and get a walk away with a medal. For those countries, that matters.
I get what you're saying. I guess
it's different if it's Germany, France, right? I get that.
But in a weird way, it's almost to me like the semifinal is like that is the match, and then it's like, okay, even though it was memorable and we had this run, now I have to play this game that's like, yeah, you can medal, but let's call it what it is, man. The third place games. Yes, they're competitive, but like they're not competitive. Like there's not a ton to it. But it takes the bite out. You're not really like you're going for it, but you're not really. Going
every England game I watch is one of the worst games of football I ever watched. Right? No one likes England, but seriously though, like having been through, and I'll put this from a personal perspective here. Wales in 2016 made it to the semi-finals of the Euros. There was no third place game that year. We wanted there to be one. You want to see that one opportunity to walk away with a medal when you're not a team that typically makes it to that stage. Again, I understand. Yeah, because you don't ever get to that point unless the Pirates of the Caribbean are coming out again to beat Antigua and Barbuda again, and you're going to beat St. Lucia this time. And who knows? Maybe you'll take on French Guyana.
No.
All right, but still,
automatic qualifier, baby.
Automatic qualifier, yeah, I know. You're really looking forward to that.
We worked hard for it.
I know. You worked so hard for it. I mean, you didn't even have to go to play El Salvador away this year.
Hey, those are tricky. Never coming home. Yeah. It's
all the disrespect for Jesus Ferreira. Pirate of the Caribbean is not getting any respect on this podcast.
Dun, 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 dun.
That still makes me laugh that the Spanish language broadcast of those games chucked that graphic up there. That edit was phenomenal.
Oh, man. Yeah, it'll be interesting. FIFA. It's gonna be a fun summer. I will say that. There's a lot of intrigue. Got Copa, Euro, and then again,
I'm just glad it hasn't gone to Arlington because again, we don't need to reward like the idea that you have to get to games and park at them. I actually personally, and this is something at all levels, absolutely hate the incredible reliance on driving to these events. You end up at a point where it's just like, you know what? If you've got to drive there, how are you supposed to enjoy yourself? How are you supposed to let loose? Unless you want to promote drink driving.
Welcome to America, man.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's like stupid. At least when I go to the Suns or I go to Chase Field, right? You can have a good time. You can have a couple of drinks. You can hop on the light rail if you so wish. All right, and especially at those times, I know that you end up getting on there, and there's a lot of other sports fans on there. It's not bad, but like. Why do you have to go and have to drive to the middle of nowhere? And that's really the pinnacle of success is how big your parking lot is outside.
And because we hate trains for some reason.
That too.
But it's okay. Max got you covered on all impaired driving. He loves to have fun and drive while impaired. As he said earlier in the show. I
literally could not have stressed any further. Drive responsive. Wait, oh no.
He doesn't even know what he's saying to do responsibly.
Are you driving home tonight?
Yes, I'm driving home
tonight. Is that Four Peaks empty?
Do we have a breathalyzer somewhere?
Okay, don't go.
What,
there.
You don't want to be breathalyzed?
I have no problem. I'm sober.
It doesn't seem like
I'm soberly sober, bro. Yeah. No, it's.
See, Max has got this wow in front of him. I had
It's incriminating.
It's talking to him like the Green
sugar-free
Goblin
energy drink, name redacted because no free ads.
Water.
Also
with no label on it, no free ads.
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll be interesting. Drive safe. And yeah, let's. I think we should. Do we need to stall? I think Eric has sons he has to prep for. Maybe we just chat a bit.
Let's go another 30, boys.
Let's
go another 30.
But only if we turn it into the Max. Where's the tattoo?
All right, this has been another episode of the PH Next Rising Podcast. Appreciate everyone joining us here tonight. It's good to be back. It's good to see people in the chat. We will be back on Tuesday. Keep on the lookout, depending on news and some other things going on. All I'll say is this. We will be starting to ramp up to our twice-a-week pod.
In the near future.
And soon enough, guys, we're going to be back at it with twice a week and post-games. We're back to 3 a week. Get more of us. Get more of the OJ and Simpson show. But until then, you can follow me on Twitter at MaxDavidSimpson. You can follow Owen on Twitter at OJEvans18.
You can find Trig over there. He's at Reese11_.
frig. Oh, man. You can follow Mr. Eric Ruby, producer extraordinaire, at Eric Ruby. It is ERIK. And Ruby like the stone. But yeah, not Danny Stone. Also, it's a different guy. No free plug for him. But he was a nice guy. But anyway,
what do you mean? You played his clips like 5 times. Can't talk about that guy.
Can't talk about the head coach of the team we cover. You know, I mean,
off the top of my head, was it Danny Stone 8? Yeah, you can sure give him a follow. Why not? Of course, follow us at PHNX__rising because. Not gonna even do it. Double the underscore. Double the underscore. Double fun.
Tattoos that Max has to
double the
get.
fun.
Whoa, I like that from a producer actor.
Avoid this. It's double the fun. There's nothing else. Yeah, it's if anyone. By the way, if anyone's going out to WMO this week, hit me up and. Okay, I have a fun one.
Free ads, no free ads.
Oh shoot. If you are going to that golf event in Phoenix with the Open,
it's not in Phoenix.
Well, it's called the Phoenix Open,
but it's not in Phoenix.
It's in Scottsdale. If you're going,
that's not in Phoenix. Well done.
Oh my gosh! If you're going to the Phoenix Open, which is located in Scottsdale this week, if you see me or if you hit me up in Discord and you bump into me, I will happily buy you a beer.
Ooh,
there you go.
Max is buying beers.
I will buy a beer. I'm happy to.
Max is buying beers. Max is buying beers.
Yeah. Anyway, it is a beautiful game, but
it's way more beautiful when Max actually gets the tattoo he promised.
No,
Good night.
Do not sound off.
We all silly like the mayor.